Hey everybody, it's me, Asinellus, and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to Reddit. Welcome to r/MaliciousCompliance. And today, we're taking a break from the huge malicious compliance stories that leave people's lives ruined, but instead taking a look at those smaller little ones that have less of an effect but are still absolutely hilarious. But alright, I can't wait to get into this, so I won't waste another second and we'll get straight into the video. Banana Malicious Compliance. And with a name like that, I've got absolutely no idea where this post could go. I had mentioned in my previous post that my prior office building was located right next to a grocery store that was a popular lunch destination due to the proximity and the variety of quick lunch options. I had also mentioned that I would often be the first on my team to take lunch, and would often ask my team if they wanted me to pick up something while I was out. My colleague Daniel would frequently ask me to pick up bananas. This was another day at the office and another planned trip to the supermarket next door for lunch. When I told my team I was heading out and asked if anyone wanted anything, Daniel gave a slight variation of his frequent request. One banana, just a small one. He handed me $1 to buy the banana, which I handed back to him because I wasn't worried about buying something that would cost less than a quarter. I headed to the store, picked up my lunch, and headed over to the produce section and the giant banana display. This time, I spotted something at the top corner of the display that was a little more frequently stocked than the red bananas. Mini bananas. Here's someone else's picture with this banana for scale. And thus, an idea was born. The mini bananas were sold by weight, and the bunches were already bagged in plastic, so I couldn't just break one off from a bunch. They were about the same price per pound as their normal-sized counterparts, so I grabbed a bunch of the mini bananas and one regular but small banana that Daniel asked for, and went to check out. For the record, the bunch of mini bananas was roughly 50 cents. I walked back to the office, and while I was in the elevator heading up to my department's floor, I opened the bag containing the mini bananas and broke one off the bunch. I got back to my desk, dropped my stuff off, and headed over to Daniel's desk with the single mini banana. I placed the tiny banana on his desk wordlessly and started to walk away. Immediately, Daniel starts laughing. He showed the person sitting behind him the single mini banana, which made her laugh too. I reminded him that he asked for just one small banana. Still laughing, Daniel proclaimed this tiny Cavendish to be awesome. I bring him the normal banana he asked for after a few minutes of laughter. I told him that I could only buy the minis by the bunch, and that he could have the rest of them if he wanted, which he happily accepted. And as someone in the comments is pointing out, this isn't malicious compliance, this is delicious compliance. And totally wholesome and absolutely amazing. Like, come on, I would love to work with someone like this. Alright guys, that story was absolutely amazing, but that was just the first one. And if you liked it, could you please take a moment to go down and like this video? This is something that really helps my channel get discovered. But don't worry, I'm not gonna waste another second, and let's keep going with the video. Don't hurry. A story of benevolent compliance. About a year ago, I was in New Orleans with friends for the weekend. At the end of the day, we scattered to our various Airbnbs and hotels, with plans to get changed and get cleaned up and meet for dinner at a restaurant on Lake Pontchartrain. To protect the restaurant, let's just say that the name was spelled and pronounced exactly like the blue crab. I'd tell you the waiter's name, but I can't remember it. I'll call him Acronym because I know you all love it when people use acronyms in their stories. We'd been out in the sun all day, so I was a little tired and not thinking entirely clearly. I drove myself there and arrived about 10 minutes late. My friends were there already and had ordered drinks already. I sat down and our waiter Acronym came over with water and a menu for me. He returned a minute later with my friend's drinks. I ordered a drink. Acronym left and returned with my beer less than a minute later. My friends ordered food without waiting for me to finish reading the menu. I didn't blame them, I was late and we were all famished. Acronym left and came back a minute or so later to take my order. I ordered. Appetizers arrived. A friend ordered another beer. Acronym left and returned with his beer and our food. At this point, I realized I'd almost finished my beer and would also like another one. But I also realized that because I arrived late, ordered late, etc., I was making Acronym make twice as many trips to our table, and I felt bad about it. So I asked him, "Can I get another beer, but please don't hurry, take your time." We began eating, and a few minutes later, all my friends began laughing at something behind me. I turned around and there was Acronym, holding my beer in hand about 15 feet away. He was very slowly walking towards me with all the speed of a sloth on downers, just creeping towards me with my beer in his hand and a grin on his face. I eventually got my beer, we had a great meal, Acronym got a good tip, and I told his manager that he was doing a wonderful job. Thanks, Acronym. I hope to see you next time I'm in town. Oh my goodness, either this guy loves a good joke or he knows how to get a good tip. Either way, you made someone else's day, and really, what more could you ask for? 3 water bottle. Today at work, the company I work for decided to give all of their employees a 3 hydro flask. Think fancy metal water bottle. Naturally, everyone was excited about it, and they were passed out right before lunch. I went home during lunch to make a sandwich and took my new bottle home to wash it and write my name on it. With permanent marker, I might add. I accidentally left it on my drying rack. Shortly after returning to work, there was a company-wide email saying all of the water bottles were being recalled due to a technical issue and needed to be returned by the end of the day, no exceptions. I called HR, they were in charge of the water bottle distribution, and explained that I left my bottle at home and I could get it to them first thing tomorrow morning. Apparently, this was not acceptable. They all needed to be returned today, etc., etc. So I drove home, grabbed my water bottle from the drying rack, watched an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, drove back to work and returned it to HR. Along with the water bottle, I gave them an expense report for the mileage for driving home and back to get it. HR was not amused, but I reminded them that this was on-the-clock driving that was required for the company. Looks like I'll be getting paid my normal wage and mileage to return a water bottle that has my name written on it and watch some Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Wow, and HR can't even do anything to him because he followed instructions to the T. Get angry when I'm being kind to an elderly couple? Be prepared to wait in line until hell freezes over. This just happened a few days ago, on the way to vacation with my family. The terminal agent calls for boarding. We get in line. My wife, my 13-year-old daughter, 16-year-old son, and me. We're somewhat near the front of the line and it quickly grows to a couple hundred people. I see an elderly couple. The woman was using a cane and both were slow moving. But they apparently didn't want to board during the assisted boarding times. I leaned out as they walked near me and asked if they would like to take our place in line. They looked a little surprised but happily accepted. As I was helping them into the line, I hear some guy, about 5 people back, sighing and making comments under his breath. I was just about to leave the line and head to the back with my son when the couple behind us insisted we stayed. I told them it was no problem for us to go to the back, but they weren't having it. The sighing jerk overheard our conversation and decided to interject. If he wants to leave, let him. Otherwise, he may as well let all the other old people cut in line. I look at this little toad, not even as big as my 13-year-old daughter. Images of me tossing him and his festering Napoleon complex into a trash can are dancing in my mind. Instead, I decided to give him what he asked for. I sent my son back in the line to find any elderly people who were behind us. In a minute, he returned with a lovely couple, about 70. They slipped right into line. A moment later, he found 2 women traveling together, right into line. The couple behind us were almost in tears, not sure if from laughter or from just enjoying watching a teen escort elderly people towards the front of the line. Napoleon Complex is having a silent tantrum as the line is going slowly, even without old line cutters. He walks from the line, complains to the agent, and boards immediately. Squeaky wheel got his grease after all. It took about 10 minutes for us to go through the boarding check and enter the plane. It was 2 rows of 3 seats on the plane. As we near our row number, I realized my wife is supposed to sit opposite me, in the same row as Napoleon Complex. I called an audible and she sat with the kids while I took the aisle seat with Napoleon Complex. He looked like he was going to pee his pants and just stared out the window. I made sure it was the most uncomfortable 5-hour flight of his life. Strange how bullies never shut up until they're afraid. And I mean, who cares when you board the plane if you don't have any sort of health issues? Personally, I'd prefer to stand in the line because, you'll be sitting down for the next 6 hours. Why not spend an extra 10 minutes standing? Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this installment of r/Malicious Compliance. And if you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel for Reddit videos 3 times a week. Videos come up every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And make sure to tell me your own stories in the comments down below. I would absolutely love to hear them. But for now, that's it from me. I hope you all enjoyed, and all I want to do is see you all here next time. See you later, guys.